This is the Ring of Honor, a.k.a. Shane T, boy, the baddest champion you ever seen, boy.
This is Mr. Anderson.
This is good old JR Jim Ross, and you are listening.
You're listening to Knockouts and 3 Counts.
We got a new world champion.
That might be one of the craziest knockouts I've ever seen in my life.
Knockouts and 3 Counts is the podcast, baby. It's the real deal, baby.
Knockouts and 3 Counts starts now.
Ooh, what up? No, it's another episode of Knockouts and 3 Counts. It's Thursday. We're here, but Bcwa is making their return this Saturday. So I thought, who better to get on here than the boss man himself, Studio 86's finest, Mike Blackwell himself. How you doing, brother, man? Long time no talk.
Good. That intro was legit. I like that intro.
Hey, man, we're trying to upgrade out here. We're trying to look like you guys.
Sweet. I don't know, man. You're not looking like us. For this show, I made one event, posted it. That's it. I have no flyers, no match graphics, no nothing. That's it. So you've got me beat, buddy.
Corey, how the fuck you doing, man?
Well, to the first point, I can say Kyle's been working real hard on all that stuff on the graphics end, so I'm sure he loves to hear all that. But I'm doing very well, especially the fact that this show is not quite at our regularly scheduled programming time. So I get to enjoy all the lovely sports that we get to partake on still today and not be interrupted with doing our show. So absolutely perfect timing in my book.
Hey, man, we're already off to a great start, and you pretty much already started it. So tell me a little bit about, before we get to BCWA this weekend, tell me a little bit about what went into bringing BCWA back. I mean, obviously you guys have been gone for a little bit because of all the pandemic and all that stuff. Like, tell me what went into the show, and how are you feeling about it?
I'm excited.
What up, Donald?
When we agreed to do it, there were a few of the guys that, especially Bill Martell, asking like, when are we coming back? And we've got our building that we use exclusively is a government-owned building. So they were really strict on opening back up, and we kind of just waited it out. And then when restrictions were fully lifted, I always said we'd go back to it. So restrictions lifted, and we were able to secure the venue. So here we are. But
well, tell me about that, though. That brings up a good question. Well, the Copeland Center, for those that don't know, I mean, it's not the biggest place in the world, but you guys pack that place out all the time. So what is it about that place that you just like making it the home base for BCWA at this point?
For me, it's the vibe. I love the city. It's grew up in Wyandotte, and it feels clean. It feels professional. It's got good acoustics. We've got the perfect setup for concessions. It sets you guys up so you have podcast room. We have the merch tables. Everything works out really well. You get a full view around the ring. It's a good venue, and once we found it, I didn't want to bounce back and forth between bingo halls, and it was this and that was it. I wasn't doing another venue, and we worked on a long-term deal. We're the exclusive, partners.
Entertainment.
Right. So, we get rights to it. If anyone wanted to come in, we get first dibs. So it was a good deal all around. That, and I had a couple shows paid up in advance. So, I mean, when we closed down for COVID, we were already, we planned 3-4 shows ahead. So everything's paid for. All the equipment's there. Everything's, covered. But when we closed down and we stopped running shows, all that went on hold and just got pushed back. So, venue was open. Most of the guys were ready, and I think that was the right move to make the call. But I wanted to come at this one a little bit slower. We have a very good fan base built in with the Alliance, and I wanted this to be more of a family environment. So I kept it real low key. I made the event. I shared it amongst the people that follow us, and that's it for promotion. I'm not pushing it too hard. If I get 20 fans, I'm great. If I get 200 fans, that's great too. But this is kind of like an underground show, if you will, as far as I'm not really pushing it to its limit to try to bring in as many people as possible.
Is that more of a welcome back to like the hardcore fans, the ones that have been following, I guess, the whole time?
Yes.
That kind of...
Yeah, we have a very intimate group of fans that have followed us for over a decade. They're close. We know them. We know their kids. We've seen their kids grow up over the years, and the boys too. You know, a lot of these guys have been with me since they were in high school. So for me, it's important to have more of an intimate setting with the people that we like working with, and for our fans. And then as we get rolling again, the machine's going to start back up, and we're going to do what we do. But I want the first few events back to kind of be more intimate.
I like it. I like it because, Corey, you haven't got to go to BCWA yet. But the one thing I can promise, whenever you get to make it out, whether it's this one or the next show that comes up after this, I mean, it's just like he said, the cool vibe that you guys have. It's always a fun show. And, I mean, I told Corey, with him being, newer to the show, like with you guys coming back, anyone that's followed Knockouts and 3 Counts for any length of time knows that BCWA and Knockouts and 3 Counts have always been closely linked. So as soon as I heard that you guys were coming back, I had to get you on the show to see what's popping, man, because, I mean, you guys have always looked out for us. So I know I, for one, can at least say I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen this Saturday.
No, and I appreciate it. Like, you guys have been great. Sorry about the train. I can't help
Polar Express.
No, like
right. But,
that is life,
It's for me, it's always been about friends and family, and family are people that anyone you bring into your life, people that you care about, that you want to be around. And that's what BCWA has always been about. We've always been about trying to help each other out. And I think that, especially coming back for the first few shows, at least to close out the year, I'd like to keep that intimate vibe. I'd like to keep it what it is. And I'm grateful that you guys are with me. And, I didn't really promote this one. And the fact that you knew about it and many others know about it, and we've got some pretty good feedback so far as online ticket sales, I think it's going to be a good show.
I completely agree. And I mean, Chris James, who's always watching us, I already know he's headed down there. I know there's already multiple people that watch us that are already ready for BCWA to come back. I know just a few people on my end are already on their way out there too. So, I mean, you guys have built yourself quite the, I guess, reputation, I guess is the best way to put it, at least down here in the Downriver area. I mean, thanks to you guys. I mean, with some of the people you guys have brought in, man, we got a lot of opportunities too, like getting to talk to like Colt Cabana and let's see over the years, we've gotten to talk to a lot of people because of you guys, the Rascals, and I mean, that's why, like, for me, it was very important to want to at least be able to help shine some kind of light, if any, on it, just because, like I said, you guys have always been good to us. So I know I, for one, am definitely looking forward to seeing what it is. And I think Corey is going to be in the same boat once you get to come out there and then come kick it with us at the after party. You guys still doing the after parties at the Firehouse Pub?
Yeah, so we have a deal with the Firehouse Pub where we do after parties. It just so happens this Saturday is the Downriver Wyandotte Zombie Pub Crawl thing. So
that's awesome.
I did not reserve an actual spot per se because they're going to be so slammed. But a lot of guys will go down there after the show. I'll probably be down for a whiskey or two. But yeah, no, the Firehouse Pub is typically our after party spot. And we're going to keep that open for future shows, but it just lined up this weekend that they're booked up. So,
well, before we get into talking about some of the matches and things we got, one of the questions that we got in some of the groups, as far as like leading up to it, they were saying, with it being a while since we've been away from BCWA, can you give everybody like a quick refresher of who you guys have all got as champions right now? Because that was a lot of the things people were asking as we go into the show. Who are going to be the champions as we come back? Is it going to be who we had when they left off? Are we going to recrown champions? Where are we at with that?
So the BCWA Tag Team Champions are Studio 86. They had recently claimed the championship after beating 3RD. So they are the current champions. The Dread King Logan, well, he lost his championship during the pandemic to a young man who wasn't legally able to compete. So we had to put the championship back on the Dread King. So the Dread King is the Alliance champion. For those of you who don't know that whole story, during the pandemic.
Please tell.
During the pandemic, there was a live stream match from the Dread King's home where his son actually defeated him. I think it was some, tomfoolery. I think the wife was involved. The daughter was involved. It was kind of like a screw job, whatever. But rightfully so, the Dread King is still the champion, the BCWA Alliance champion. And your BCWA champion is the Frogun, D-Ray 3000. However, I don't know whether or not he'll be there.
Well, we all, for those of us who know us, we rock with the Frogun heavy, dude. So we definitely got to see what's up with the Frogun, man, because he brings the heat.
He's been out for nearly 2 years.
Yep.
He did one show after the pandemic's happened, and he's not done a show since then. So the Frogun is our champion. If he does not show up, we will have a champion. But I expect, who knows? Who knows? Time will tell. Yeah,
so to go with what you were just talking about, we mentioned who the champions are, and you mentioned Studio 86 is your tag team champions. Now, I'll mention this here. I don't know what you're exactly going to get, but that's all the more reason you got to hit subscribe, hit them likes, hit them comments, all those things, because you mentioned Superstar Bill Martell. Mm-hmm. I plan on sitting down with Superstar Bill Martell, if I can spit it out, at the show, or either before or after. We're definitely going to chat with him because, bro, right before pandemic, we both magically found out that my first fight was on the same card as him in the middle of Detroit next to Gigi's and stuff. So we got to talk about that. We got to talk about, we've been messing with you guys for a long time at this point. So, there's plenty to talk about. And somehow, out of all the people from BCWA that have come on, somehow Superstar Bill Martell has not made his way out there. So plenty to talk about there.
He's rare. He's a rare interview to get. Martell keeps to himself. When BCWA closed its doors the first time, when we stopped, we started like 2007, 2008. We stopped somewhere around the 13, 12, somewhere in there. Bill Martell was off the grid completely. He disappeared. And he doesn't do very many interviews. So he was a trained MMA fighter. He did fight before going to wrestling. And if you're going to talk to him, you want to make it fun, bring up Ghostbusters. He's a big fan. Bring up Elvis. And he likes the Howard Stern characters. So you kind of go that route, you'll win him. So. All
right, so Ghostbusters is the way to go. I got to put that on my notes and keep it in the memory bank. Well, for all of you guys that are watching, if you've got any questions for Blackwell, shoot them out. I know Donald was saying he had, and that's another good thing about BCWA for those who are new to you guys. You have always been very good about listening to what your audience wants to see.
We do serve the audience.
Exactly. Well, before we get to, I don't know what you want to tell, being that there's been no card announced, but there's a match here. Go ahead.
I'll tell you guys anything you want to hear.
All right. Well, then let's hear about it. What are we going to be looking forward to this weekend? Because there's a matchup that we've had a few people asking for that involves the DTA boys. And I know from before you guys were big fans of DTA. So let me hear a little bit about what you got this Saturday first.
Well, we've got a great family-friendly show. We've got a lot of familiar faces, and it's going to be a good time. VIP fans get all kinds of special bonuses, a special match. But I don't know a whole lot about the card, so I don't know who all is going to be. Allegedly, I'm in the dark. The booking team has put together, the matchmakers, if you will, have put together the fights, and they didn't bother to send me put me in the email.
Put you in the loop. Ain't that some shit? But one thing I know that you are in the loop of, though, is since you mentioned Studio 86, what's on Studio 86's agenda as we come back into BCWA, man? Because you guys were pretty hot when the pandemic started.
Yeah, every day's a party.
What do we see coming from you guys next?
We're just gonna have fun. That's the agenda for Studio 86. We're gonna have a good time. And we're going to bring the fans along with us. It's a blast. We're 5 strong, and we've got new T-shirts that were going to come out when the pandemic happened. And I've been sitting on all kinds of merch that I'll probably be practically giving away. So we got some 86 shirts. We got some BCWA shirts. But yeah, 86 are all about the party. So whatever Martel and our old buddy Maserati Rick have in store for you. Then you got Nick Braxton, you got Big Daddy Gaddy, and myself. So, yeah, it's a party.
I'm just gonna say I don't want any smoke with Big Daddy Gaddy at all. But since you're mentioning merch and all this stuff, for everybody who is watching, listening, consuming, however the fuck you're watching this, breaking news over here: Knockouts and 3 Counts is gonna be dropping our new T-shirt design. The design is from the beautiful Miss Lindsay Snow, past guest of the show and Bloodsport winner. She's the one that did the tattoo on my arm that, sparked the idea. So the new shirt will be dropping. The design will be dropping tomorrow. We're going to do pre-order and then let me know what size you guys need and we'll get them out to you.
Bring 3X to the show.
Hey, you got it. You got it, boss. We're going to, and shout out to Sean Stockmeyer, man, looking out and doing good work over there at Face Kicked Apparel, putting the shirts together. Like I said, be on the lookout on all our social media, which you can see down there in the corner. And let me know if you want one. Hit me up. I got you. But with that being said, with BCWA, you guys had, like you said, the run-in with H3RD and all those things. Yeah. What do you think for Martel? Because like I said, we're getting ready to talk to him this weekend. Martel just has this aura of he seems real serious as you guys go back into BCWA. Do you think it's going to be kind of like a pick up where we left off, or do you think even though with you guys having the tag titles, do you think he's going to try to go back up for the world title? Because I mean, you guys were running the show pretty hard towards the end.
Yeah, I was pushing for it, but he's loving what he's doing right now. He's got great chemistry with his partner Maserati Rick. They've wrestled numerous times, even since the pandemic. There's no rust there, and I think he's happy doing what he's doing. And I'm along for the ride, man. It's 2008. I was the serious one. I was the serious pro, if you will, the guy that was always after it. But I've gotten a little older, gotten a little fatter, a lot fatter, and I don't know. I'm not as competitive as I once was. So it's up to right now. Martel, he's the guy, man. He's the pulse. He's the lifeblood. So he'll do what he does, and he's going to go after whatever he wants. So I'm just along for the ride.
I like it. Well, J-Bone is coming through in the comments. I want to hear what your thoughts are and maybe what we might see from one Uncle Chase Burnett, from BCWA. What are your thoughts on that guy? I mean, J-Bone's out here saying they want to see Chase this weekend, and I know Chase said he wants to get back at Logan for that Alliance Championship, so it could be interesting.
I've known Chase Burnett for a long, long time. What was that? Kamikaze Combat Kid. Was it Skybinds, Chase Burnett, Uncle Chase? I love him. The guy's he's like family to me. Anything the kid wants, he's got a shot at, as far as I'm concerned.
I like it, man. Like I said, what are your thoughts on this, Uncle? You named all those different gimmicks. What are your thoughts on, this change in metamorphosis we've seen in Chase during the pandemic? He's aged quite a bit, but still does a bunch of the crazy shit.
Yeah, we've all gotten older, man. He's not doing crazy shit. He's doing old school classics. The days of the collar elbow tie up and the sleeper hold are long gone. Chase Burnett, he's the vintage guy right now. That's it's coming back. But yeah, no, he's we've all gotten old. It's the before the pandemic. I mean, I remember when BCWA started back up again the second time, I was like 195 pounds. I'm not 195 pounds anymore. It's time takes a toll on you. And Chase Burnett, I think he's the top shape of his life right now. Even though
he's been putting that work in since he got hurt. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah, he does. The kid. That's one thing you can never count him out. He's one guy you'll never count out. If he's on television one day for a major program, I wouldn't be surprised. It's just the kid is he's remarkable.
Just from the appearances he's made on the show, I wouldn't be surprised either.
He's remarkable. He's really a good guy. Yeah.
So another group of guys that I know are mainstays in BCWA. So there's been a matchup that keeps getting thrown around, and it's got to do with them boys from DTA, man. Sure. I keep seeing a lot of talking with DTA. Well, I don't know if you saw on Twitter, which again, if you follow us at KO3C Pod, you'll be able to see it. Donald actually might be commenting. Okay, he's not commenting about that, but we've heard about a match that's been proposed between DTA and our homies from STP, Shane Taylor Promotions. Everybody seems to be clamoring about that. What is it that you think makes DTA stand out so much here that people are wanting to see groups like STP and things like that come out here for the match? There you go. DTA versus STP. It's already in the comments.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been up for booking what the fans want to see. I don't know who STP is.
Shane Taylor Promotions. Shane Taylor. It consists of Shane Taylor, Big Bad Kaiju O'Shea Edwards, and then Conan Moses of the SOS.
All right,
they're also the Ring of Honor 6-man champs.
Okay, that helps me because I'm just hearing names right now. I don't follow wrestling very well, but I can speak on the DTA guys, and Ring of Honor top notch. So, but DTA, the guys are they're real, they're humble, and they're fierce. They train harder than most. They work harder than most. They look better than most, and they're real, genuine people. Unless you cross them. Now, there's not a member of DTA I have not worked with, and I love every one of them. And they're always free to stop by.
Hey, man, we're good. We're big fans of them out here. Any of you guys that have been following us, we've done a couple different interviews with Aaron Orion solo. I mean, we've had Tommy and all of them in group interviews when we were doing the stuff at BCWA. Matter of fact, we just had people on social media asking the other day for us to bring Tommy Vendetta on at some point. So maybe you'll see that in the cards from us real soon, because he's been a guy that's been getting his way out there, whether it be with some of the deathmatch stuff or other places. I mean, he's really been a guy. Him and Isaiah Bronner, another guy who we first met in BCWA. I mean, these guys are all out all over the place. We went and worked with our friends over at Pele Pro in Texas, and the first show we went and worked for them, he's asking me what I think Isaiah Bronner, and the next thing you know, Isaiah's out there in Texas doing the deal out there, man. So it's good to see some of these DTA boys and everybody else spreading their wings.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't forget, one of the underrated guys that I really, really enjoy working with is Adam Wick.
Okay. Well, tell me, what about Adam Wick? I haven't gotten to see as much of his stuff. I saw more of Broner and Orion and Jack Price and stuff.
He's fantastic. And Alex Weir, is he still part of is he,
I believe so. As far as I know, he's still part of DTA. I mean, Alex Weir goes without saying too. I mean, he's always fun to watch.
So no, they're all great guys. And, any combination of them could put 86 to their limit. I mean, I still got my boys. I still think my boys would come out on top, but it's still, I mean, they're all great. So yeah, there's any possibility, any combination of the DTA and any other top tag team, I'm all about it. I give the fans what they want to see, and if it's reasonable and it's everything lines up and dates all work out, I'm always down.
I mean, I don't know about you, Corey, but that sounds like a hell of a fucking matchup to me.
Yeah, absolutely. And with all the fans clamoring for it, I mean, it just shows interest right there.
I don't know, Shane Taylor, if you see this, or maybe the next time we're on Xbox, I'm just saying, homie, they're calling for you guys to come down here and scrap it out with the DTA boys. I mean, I'm just saying.
I'm down. Hit me up. I mean,
yeah, dude.
Yeah, and I don't follow. I'm probably the worst wrestling promoter in the world because I don't follow wrestling. I've not really followed wrestling since the Undertaker versus Undertaker, or like one of the best matches ever, Nails versus Virgil. Like, that was my heyday of wrestling. And Papa Shango, don't get me wrong, the guy was top of the world. So that was when I was really a wrestling fan. So a lot of the guys nowadays, man, unless they come across my desk, I don't know them. So I'm not saying they're not good. I just don't, my eyes aren't open.
I can at least tell you from what I've seen, you bring them in here for that. I mean, like I mentioned, they are currently your Ring of Honor 6-man champs, and they're actually getting ready to go against Kenny King and them for their tag titles. So, I mean, it would be a good scrap for DTA. But I mean, that's another thing. Donald's mentioning in the comments. I mean, again, when we're mentioning people, spreading their wings. I mean, Tommy Vendetta's getting ready to show up at Paradigm tomorrow too. Along with Isaiah Broner already being over there. So with that being said, what do you think is going to be the biggest change we're going to see in the indie scene around here as we come back versus before we went to the pandemic?
I was thinking about that with you've got such great wrestling out there now, with AEW really finding their home, and it's a lot of a lot of eyes are on indie talent, local talent. I think isn't Impact doing this thing now with this social media championship, if you will. I don't know what I'm calling it.
Past guest of the show, Zicky Dice, is involved with it. So
yeah,
they're making big moves there too.
You have great opportunities for the guys right now that are really hungry, that have opportunities to be seen by eyes that have never been seen before. So I don't know. I mean, I think it's all up in the air. I think that the hungry ones are going to get their shot, and there's plenty of platforms now. I mean, right now, multi-billion-dollar companies are choosing to skip ad agencies and use Facebook and YouTube to advertise. And it's the same platform that these guys have to use. So they virtually have the same resources. I mean, maybe not the buy click, click, whatever, but they have the same resources to get themselves out there. I mean, it's anyone's game right now, I think.
I agree. And I feel like now go ahead, Corey.
I was just going to say social media has definitely changed the world of advertising.
Absolutely.
A ton in that regard.
Yeah. It was a struggle, man. We were in the MySpace age, right? So it was a struggle trying to get through to anybody back then. YouTubers didn't get paid. It was you put your feet on the pavement, put flyers out. That was the way to get people at shows. But nowadays it's different.
Yeah, because it's direct customer engagement, basically.
Absolutely.
And it's all just a click away, and it doesn't cost a ton.
Right.
On, the marketing end. It's just completely changed it. Absolutely.
Yes. I mean, look at nowadays. Like, I'm sorry to cut you off, but
no, you're straight. You're good.
I've got a 7-year-old son, and when I was 7, I was watching Nickelodeon or whatever it was, right? And you had all these commercials telling you what to watch, what to like. Everyone kind of liked the same thing, the same toys, the same shows. They had access to that. Now these kids want to watch YouTube videos of kids playing with toys or people playing Minecraft or whatever. They don't care about like big television. They don't care about networks. They don't care. We haven't had cable in years. We canceled it all and just got all the subscription services. My son doesn't even know what a channel is anymore. And that's where the generations are going, right? They're going to watch what they want to watch when they want to watch it. And anyone that's able to get on those platforms, you can. I mean, YouTubers make millions of dollars, right? To sit around and doing exactly what you guys are doing, videos. It's a completely different world. So I couldn't even begin to guess where it's going to go.
Well, let me ask you this, man. Since you mentioned that you're not the biggest wrestling guy, and I know you're always more of a fan of like the spectacles type stuff. You talk about people making money on YouTube. Do you got any thoughts on all this stuff that we've seen with Jake Paul and his brother, and seeing them do things and wrestling and boxing and all that stuff? Because I mean, that sounds like it'd be more up your alley with the spectacle of it.
So, yes and no. The Paul brothers are arguably, I mean, they're brilliant, right? They get it. They know how to. The same thing McGregor did, right? I mean, McGregor, he had a way to make a show out of it, just like Muhammad Ali. He made a show out of it. He got people involved. Brock Lesnar did it too, just with his hype and his just size. I mean, even back in UFC, like, people had eyes on Tank Abbott and guys like that because they had different elements that were untraditional. And I think one thing was it Jake Paul? Is he the asshole or is Logan the asshole? Which one?
Jake Paul's the asshole.
Jake's the asshole. Okay. Which one does Impulsive?
Okay. Yeah.
Which one is it?
Logan,
the older brother.
Logan. So which is the one that fought Mayweather?
Logan fought Mayweather, and then Jake Paul's the one that fought Ben Askren and did he just fight? So and Tyron Woodley.
Jake's the hype guy with Snoop.
Yep.
The type of fight and all that. Okay. Yeah, but I mean, these guys, they got it. They figured it out, right? You're getting Mayweather to fight somebody unknown, right? Like, I mean, how do you do that? Mayweather's arguably the greatest champion in the history of boxing. I mean, what, 50-0?
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, you talk about how much we love Tyson or Ali or whatever, but 50-0 is 50-0. Right. So to vote this guy out and to get him in to do some spectacle with a YouTuber, there's money involved. And for these guys to get that kind of, there's something to it, right? That's what I mean. It's all about the hype.
That's why I want to know what you'd think, because I know that's more up your alley. Because I mean, you're 100% right. It does have to do with the money, because Ben Askren made more money in that one fight to get knocked out in one shot than he did the entire time he was the one champion, the entire time he was in Bellator and was champion, and more than any one fight that he ever made in the UFC. He made getting punched one time and get knocked the fuck out.
Right. Well, look at McGregor. You know, I mean, UFC doesn't pay nearly enough.
Agreed.
To do what they do. And McGregor is a multiple champion. He's a champion of multiple different weight divisions. The guy's like breaking records. He's making all kinds of money for the promotion. You know, he's getting paid all right, making his money. He does this one fight with Floyd Mayweather, and he's a made man. Right? I mean, just to transcend into that world.
Mm-hmm.
You know, boxing's always been about hype, man. I mean, you know, that's just the way it is. And yeah, it's hype. Controversy creates cash, right? I mean,
Eric Bischoff said it best. I mean, you can see that with Bischoff there.
Yeah. So, but again, like that's the thing, right? It's you know, it's all about the hype. But then you got to deliver on the hype too. Like those Pacquiao and Mayweather fights were trash, right?
Yeah. That's the one knock. Go ahead, Corey.
That's one thing I do feel as though the Paul brothers have done very well, and to the point of, like, you know, the whole there's always the sideshow of it all. I mean, like, I remember when I was still a little bit younger and growing up and stuff, so celebrity boxing was at its all-time high. I mean, they were putting on events like every other month for that. And I remember kind of laughing at it back then, and at least this is being taken more seriously, I guess you could say. They're both, like, actually going out there and competing. Like, say what you want about him pulling a Mayweather fight, but he looked just as good as Conor did in that fight, in my opinion. So the fact that they're at least, like, taking it serious enough to not just make it a sideshow, but to also make it a competition in the sideshow, I find it entertaining as well. I might not always root for him, but yeah, I'll be watching. You know,
it's not like Tyson's first few fights after prison, right, where he's going up against these guys who are just getting their ass beat for $1 million. Like these guys, the Paul brothers, they can actually fight, right? I mean, whether they're
what caliber they are, they've trained enough to know what
they
they're
might
doing.
not be top tier boxers, but they're able to beat the competition that they're putting in.
He just beat Tyron Woodley. Shit,
they kick our asses. So who are we to compete? I mean, you know what I mean? Like they'd be.
Give me that $1 million contract.
Right.
Shit, I'll fight Jake Paul tomorrow. I'm not kidding. I'll fight his ass tomorrow if I get a chance at that kind of money. Just let me do it in MMA so I can take him down.
Well, there you go. Now you got your chance, but you're talking boxing, so it's a different world. Boxing's
hey, I started with boxing. We could do that too. Even if I get dropped, I'll take that bread.
Yes, that's a tough game. That's an endurance game, man. That's a stamina game. That's not a power game. But,
agreed.
Yeah, no, it's great to see. I'm, you know, and to go back to wrestling, that's why I always have my money on Chase Burnett, because the kid. He knows that, and he focuses on that. Social media and the hype. That's his game. So you never know.
He finds a very good way to make himself stand out.
Absolutely, he does, and that's the key, right? You got to be the one to stand out, right? I mean, that's. Yeah. We did that for many years. I've gotten to a point where maybe it's not that I don't care. I care about what we do. But I don't care if I'm considered number one. I don't care if we're considered the best. We're going to go out there, do what we do, and have fun doing it. And but, you know, I'm out of the game now for the most part. But for these young guys, man, they've got great opportunities.
I mean, and that's the thing. You mentioned in the beginning of the show that one of your hallmarks for BCWA and the things that people can expect. I mean, you guys always put out a consistently fun show to go to. You know, you do enough to make people want to come back for the next show and all those things. And I think that's the mark, especially on an indie level. I mean, that's the mark of somebody who's growing like their own audience, because regardless, like I mentioned at the top of the show, I've been to most of the shows you guys have been at since you returned the second time, you know, since the show at the Yak. And I mean, every month the Cope would be, you know, packed up or pretty close to packed up. So, I mean, at some level, regardless of what's going on, I mean, you guys are keeping like a diehard fan base. And I mean, I can't tell you, matter of fact, J-Bone that just commented in here a little bit ago, I mean, he found us from seeing us first at BCWA, and now, has seen us bring on all these people and since. So one thing you guys have always been able to do right, clearly, is, having your own product that's attracting your fans to keep a recurring door open. So that's commendable in and of itself.
Oh, thank you. But it's not about trying to be more unique than everyone else. It's not trying to be better than anyone else. It's just trying to be what you want to be and sticking to your guns, right? So, you know what you want to do. I want to have shows where a family can come, where a kid can come and not feel awkward, not hear that swear word, not feel intimidated by wrestlers getting too close to the fans or being too violent. I want a wholesome experience. You sell one ticket to an adult, you sold one ticket. You sell one ticket to a 7-year-old, you sold 4 tickets. And I think that you just want to create a wholesome environment where the whole family can come and no one feels weird going home. You know what I mean? Like, just a good family friendly show. And that's the key. And whatever it is, whatever your niche is, you just stick to that and don't get distracted by the competition. Do what you do best. So
with that being said, as we start to wind down and things like that, for anybody that's a first-time person to BCWA, what can you tell them to expect from BCWA Saturday night? And before I forget, shout out to whoever made that graphic. I definitely got the old school WCW vibes off that deal. Like I said, go ahead.
Bill Martell,
we're going to have to talk about that when we talk this Saturday, because I like the old school WCW vibes. But like I say, there's a lot of people I know that are going to be returning, like our boy Chris James and everybody else. I will be in the building. Hopefully we can get Corey out there too, but if not, he'll be down there at some point. What can we, what do you think is going to be the thing for people who have never been to BCWA? What can they expect?
A different atmosphere. If you're a wrestling fan and you come to the show, you're going to experience something different. The show starts exactly when we say it does. There's no late, no cancellations. It doesn't drag on. It's quick. It's within 2 hours. It's not unbearable. You've got great staff. The boys are great. It's a family experience. You are treated like valued guests. You're not just customers. You're not just fans. You're guests, and it matters. You're part of the alliance, and the fans mean just as much as I do. So it's a different environment.
And just to go off of what Mike said, like I said, I've been there for a good portion of the shows. They do a good job from the storytelling and from match to match. Plus, like I said, you've had everybody come in there, and again, you can check these out in our archives. But you've had everybody in there from the Rascals to Colt Cabana, and you keep going down the list. You guys have had big names come out, cool names come out. You never know what you're going to see. And like I said, as you come into BCWA, I, for one at least, am really interested to see what surprises we could see show up in BCWA as it starts to renew the next chapter come this Saturday.
Yeah, we've got a couple new people that you've not seen yet in our
okay.
And anyone from that list you just mentioned could potentially be there. We stay in connection with a lot of those guys, and the people that have come back multiple times. There's a good chance any of them could show up. And I've never been one to really advertise one specific talent over another, so it wouldn't be unusual to have a name or unexpected people or whatever show up. It could be anybody, and it actually was open to everybody. The way we booked the show, we gave an open invite to anyone that's ever been booked with us before that was part of the group. That if you're available this date, our show is back and we've got a spot for you. So it could be anybody, and we're not going to say who they are.
I like it, man. It makes the suspense. I can't wait till we get here Saturday. Donald's saying his last show at BCWA was the Halloween show a couple years ago. Like I said, man, if you're anywhere in the Downriver area or anywhere in the surrounding Michigan area, like I said, this is going to be one of the shows to check out. And I mean, Donald, I told you I was about it, bro. I don't know why you thought I was scared to bring up that matchup for Blackwell because, man, I mean, let's call it what it is. Since you came on here, we've always thrown out booking ideas, so I figured why the hell not? Since people are asking for it, I know you're that type of guy. So all the more reason all of you guys got to come out to BCWA because, like he said, you never know who just might show up. Uh-oh, wait a minute. We do got one last question for you in the comments.
Oh, man.
Will there be a battle royal and can I enter? J-Bone says, can he enter? Is there going to be a battle royal? We had a few people were asking about that. With battle royal type stuff because you guys always have been good for those.
Because the fans love battle royals. The fans love it. I don't know why. I always get that's my thing. I always want a battle royal, and I'm always told no, we do too many. It's a bad idea. Yes, there will be one.
Yes. Oh shit,
there will be one.
If I'm not mistaken, didn't you start the Alliance Championship originally as a battle royal type thing, or was that the inaugural crowning?
I believe we did, and that's the cool thing about the Alliance Championship because anyone who gets the victory in those matches is the champion. I mean, it could be a battle royal, it could be a tag team match. You could lose the championship to your tag team partner. It could be it can be anything. That's the great thing about that championship, and there will be a battle royal.
If fans don't talk, you never what would happen. Isaiah getting on ICW, and then J-Bone says he's good on entering, but he said he's excited for this Saturday. I know he's coming down from Pontiac to check out the show, so it's gonna be a good time. And I mean, I didn't know this until after we had linked up. I mean, that's where J-Bone originally found us, was at the BCWA shows. So like I said, it's our pleasure to have you on to help to be able to bring any light to you guys. And I don't know, man. I can't wait till Saturday. I think that's we've pretty much covered most of it. So one more time for the cheap seats. I announced it at the beginning of the show. I'm going to announce it at the end of the show. Tomorrow, 12 noon. You guys have been asking me for months and months, when the hell are we going to put out another shirt because the first run of them sold so quick. Tomorrow, noon, I will be drawing the new design for the new Knockouts 3-count shirt, courtesy of our friend, the American Kaiju, Lindsay Snow. So if you guys want one, hit me up. Let me know. We got PayPal. We got Cash App. We got all those things, or I can just bring it to you in person. But for all of you guys that bought the last ones, we appreciate all the love with them. And until next time and in the in-between time, make sure you're following them social medias because, I don't know, maybe there just might be a big announcement for next week. But if you ain't following us, you're not going to see it. So until next time and in the in-between time,